Hi, my name is Chris, and today we're talking about a fragrance from the house of Yves Saint Laurent. On today's video, I have a fragrance that has been reviewed quite a bit, actually. So there's been quite a bit of videos out there on YouTube about this fragrance. It has been around the block a couple of times. It's not super old. The fragrance came out in 2015, so it's been around for a bit now. It's not super old, it's not super new, but it is one of the top selling, if not the top selling fragrance for this range, which is the Vestiaire collection by Yves Saint Laurent. Their collection, just like Armani's, is a little bit confusing. I mean, they're both made by L'Oreal. The thing about it is Armani's, for example, has Les Eaux, and then they have their dark black bottles, and then they have their colorful bottles, and each one of those has a different price point. This is the same thing that we get here with Yves Saint Laurent. So we have Le Vestiaires, and then we also have another collection that comes in gold bottles. This is what the box looks like. So very plain Jane white box. I got mine directly from Bloomingdale's because they were running a promotion on the fragrance itself. Not sponsored, although I should be. But do you see that? I'm sorry to say, but this fragrance is 270 US dollars for a 4.2-ounce bottle, and the box is nice and all, but look at the sticker. Can we just not get the stickers on right anymore? I had the same problem with Loewe, although Loewe's was a little bit different. It was the sticker on the actual bottle, which was coming off and peeling. That fragrance is also 270. Actually, I think that one is 280, so $10 more than this guy here. So yeah, that's a little bit disappointing because, like I said, when you are buying such an expensive fragrance, you expect every little small detail to be pristine and in order. So let's look at the box. You do get a Yves Saint Laurent logo at the top, and then you also do get all of the barcode information here. Then once you open up the box, it is a pull top box. You get your fragrance inside, and these bottles are actually fairly nice. They're very simplistic. I actually thought they were going to be a lot cheaper quality whenever I got them in the mail because online they don't look to be like the most expensive bottles out there. I think Armani's look a little bit more premium than these, but it is a nice, hefty, heavy glass in this fragrance. Very nice liquid inside. Look at that color. It's just absolutely gorgeous. All of their perfumes actually have really nice colors, and I don't know if you're into that, but I definitely look at the color of the perfume juice itself. The bottom of the box does say Le Vestiaire de Parfums de Yves Saint Laurent. And just so you know, all of these are considered to be the upper scale premium line itself. This fragrance has had quite a bit of requests to be on this channel. I have gotten requests to do it, and I have also run some polls, and everyone seems to be interested in this guy. So just a quick look at the bottle itself, a little bit more close up. You do get the lid. Online, it looks like it's going to be a little bit more texturized. It is a little bit more soft. It's kind of like a fabric material. You do get the YSL logo up top, and you do get a YSL logo inside as well. Nothing on the actual sprayer itself. As you saw, the sprayer of the fragrance is a very nice type of misty sprayer. It's not going to be like a Dior one or an LVMH one where it's like wafty, but it is going to be misty so you can walk into your fragrance if you'd like. So the top notes for this fragrance are going to be violet leaf, coriander seed, and bergamot. You do get that coriander seed at the very beginning of the fragrance. You also get that beautiful bergamot. It's not going to be an overwhelming, fresh, super zesty type of bergamot, but it does carry the fragrance and really maintains the fragrance as a clean, overall pleasant experience. Your middle notes are going to be black pepper, lily of the valley, and rose. You definitely get a rose. It's going to be kind of like a dusty rose. It's enveloped with the coriander seed. It's enveloped with the violet because the violet's also very prominent in this one. And it's carried with bergamot. The black pepper is definitely a nice contrast in this fragrance because it kind of softens the edges. Although black pepper can sometimes come off as being a little bit too harsh, in this fragrance it comes out as something that's going to balance and give a nice contrast to the other notes. Then in the base we're going to get bourbon, vanilla, ambergris, and patchouli. The patchouli in here is really a star of the show in this, as well as the ambergris. It is not, it's a very unique patchouli in this fragrance. So it's not going to be a overly earthy patchouli. It's not going to be a 70s patchouli or like a dirty patchouli, if you will. It's more of a contrast between all of those, and it really makes this fragrance stand out even more. The ambergris in here is done exquisitely well. It's not going to be overwhelming. It's not going to make the fragrance too dull. It's not going to make the fragrance, too round. It's going to just give it that nice spark and that element that really makes this fragrance that much more special. There are quite a bit of dupes out there for this fragrance. Now, I have smelt a couple of those, and I will say that they do not get it right with certain things. For example, that sharp contrast that you get in this fragrance, that sharp element that's very sexy, unique, and makes this fragrance so much more different to any other one is not in those. And that's a very big characteristic of Yves Saint Laurent fragrances overall, because they do have that, like, I don't know, that rock and roll type of vibe to them, but it's very upscale, very pencil suit, very tuxedo, just like this fragrance does say in it. I'm not sure if this actually contains any leather in it. I do smell some leather in here, or leathery touches to it. That could be a combination of notes, but it does have a leathery element to it. Now, it's not going to be a ombre leather. It's not going to be a Tuscan leather or anything that's going to be overwhelming. It's very soft, kind of like a suede leather type of material. Very nice. This fragrance is extremely elegant. It's sophisticated, and it's quite surprisingly a very unisex fragrance. I can see a male wearing this, I can see a female or anything in between wearing this fragrance, because it does have that very nice versatile vibe to it. Now, this fragrance itself, if you are looking into getting something that's going to be an everyday wearer, I wouldn't say that this fragrance is necessarily going to be one of those that agrees with that. It's definitely more of a upscale, more dressy up type of fragrance. It's more of a nice dinner, a nice event to go to, or a nice date night, or a first date. This fragrance, like I said, is extremely sophisticated, extremely well done. And with that being said, I would certainly recommend it myself. I did get to test this fragrance, and the wear time on this fragrance is very good. You do get anywhere from 6 to 7 hours, because this fragrance does have that little powdery element that runs through it. But it's it's a very je ne sais quoi, a very unique powdery. It's a rock and roll, pencil suit type of powderiness. It's not a Prada where it's like soapy and clean and iris and boring. It's not one of those. It's one of those that has a little bit of a rough element to it, which really makes this fragrance even more special. It makes it stand out. It makes it unique. And I actually was very surprised, because I was thinking the entire time, this is part of the reason why I have taken such a long time to review Le Vestiaire collection by Yves Saint Laurent. I worked for YSL. When I worked for Armani, you were supposed to work for both brands. And with working with Yves Saint Laurent, at least the cosmetics side, I was very unimpressed with a lot of the quality. It was very poor quality with a lot of things. It really looked like L'Oreal had just slapped the label of Yves Saint Laurent onto this pretty packaging and sent it down the line and said they'll buy it. And people did. And this fragrance I thought was going to be very much similar. I thought that this line was going to be very similar. I will say that with the box itself, yeah, this is cheap. It's not the most expensive quality we've seen. It's not the heaviest quality, but it's not the heaviest quality or the most expensive quality with the Armani line as well. So we can't really judge this one and not judge Armani's quality equally. But I will say that compared to a lot of other fragrances that I've gotten, in specific, Celine is probably my bullet point that they all have to touch, my standard. Celine really does it well, and I feel like everyone else will be able to do it as well as Celine, or if not, even better. It's a little hard to find that. There's a lot of brands that don't do it well. Like, for example, Louis Vuitton doesn't do really expensive packaging either, and everyone likes it, but it's cheap. Dior's Privé line is not the best either. But, they're at least a little bit more sturdy, a little bit heavier, and they could stick on their labels correctly for the most part, at least not Loewe. Definitely let me know what your guys' thoughts on this fragrance are down below. I would say to go ahead and get this one if you are able to. Like I said, they do make dupes of this fragrance. The only thing that they do miss is that little rough element to the powderiness in this fragrance. And if that is something you like in this fragrance, I would certainly say you're probably not going to get that, because with the dupes, they kind of make the notes smell similar to this, but as a dry down. You don't get that little sharp citric part to it that also has that rock and roll vibe to it. And I would certainly say to get the original. I know that sometimes they run sales, like for example, Neiman Marcus will give you gift cards. Saks will give you gift cards if you purchase a certain dollar amount. So definitely check out this fragrance. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below. Let me know if there's any other Yves Saint Laurent fragrances. I know Rouge Velours was another fragrance that everyone wanted to see a review on. If you want to see that still, let me know down in the comments. Also, make sure to give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more fragrance related content. And I hope to see you on the next video.